We'll see the stream is in excellent condition. All right, guys. So we are back on live. So as you know, it's probably a heavy episode. So pretty much Yam just suffered a pretty big catastrophe just now. I'll try to recap what kind of happened. Obviously, I took some losses here, mostly yesterday's yield. So I was farming my actual principal. The amount of money I staked into these contracts were not really at risk. Now I just kind of have to go back and pull out the stuff I was farming with. But the yams that were created in the process and I did also buy some yams prior to the whole rebase thing that went completely lost, kinda. So I'll give you guys a recap of what kind of happened here, kind of what we know so far. Not too much is known. I think I'll give you guys a story of what's happening. So the latest news was a post by Belmore, so one of the kind of developers on here. So he says, "I'm sorry, everyone. I failed. Thank you for the insane support today. I'm sick with grief." That's kind of the current situation. I'll send you the tweet here. So I'll share the tweet as well with you guys and the live chat as well. So I'll put that here. So that seems to be the current kind of take. So I'll give you the narrative of what happened kind of in the past 2-3 hours over everything. I guess a lot of you guys haven't slept at all, which is kind of crazy. I'm not sure why this stream is not working very well. So let me just, we have 100 something people here. It's crazy. So we talk about what just happened. So prior to this, obviously, we were looking at trying to save Yam. So the project was launched, I guess, less than almost 36 hours ago, and there were some bugs in the code with the Yam contract itself. The biggest bug being the fact that the treasury for Yam would have more Yam than it should have. So we had a very limited amount of time for the community to band together and fix the bug before it became impossible to have a quorum for votes. So the way these contracts designed, the way these governance tokens work is that they have these voting privileges, and you need enough people to vote before the vote can be passed, right? That's kind of like, how votes kind of work in government almost. You have to have enough people sitting down at the table voting before any votes, before you can reach quorum and for this to happen. So that does mean that we need to have quorum. And because the treasury itself actually holds yams, this became a big problem. So what the developers foresaw around 12 hours ago was that due to this bug, the treasury was getting more and more yams. And because the treasury can vote, it would become to a theoretical point that it will be impossible for the community to do any more voting because they will never reach quorum because the treasury would have more yams than everyone else. So I guess that was kind of the situation that was going forward. And if you followed today's tweet and if you followed everything was happening, there was a big countdown clock trying to save Yam, getting people to band together, delegate their votes. I did that too. I retweeted that. And there was a point where we drastically outvoted, right? So there was the votes in delegation were way more than the minimum required. The stretch goal was passed, and the countdown was at 30 minutes. So at 30 minutes, everything was going well. It seemed like all was well in the world of Yamland. But there was one final boss fight to fight. It turns out that the developers, unfortunately, they were urgently investigating a potential flaw that would prevent the proposal execution. So all that we were working up towards, all that we were working up towards to try to save Yam, well, yeah, unfortunately, the proposal, they were trying as much as they can to get this proposal to pass, but there was this potential for a potential flaw that would prevent this proposal from being executed. And because of the deadline, because the rebase was happening, there was only roughly a 30 minutes for these developers to come up with a solution for that to happen. And then obviously right like less than an hour ago, basically there was a concern for people to pull out of the Yam white curve pools. I guess the fact is that people were in this pool, they kind of knew what they're doing already. But anyways, there was still 75K in that pool. But anyways, regardless, it seems like the latest news is that even though the community banded together to try to save and delegate those votes, it seems like there was a potential flaw that prevented the proposal from executing. And because the window for that execution was, 40 minutes ago, basically, and because it didn't execute, it seems to be the case that Yam is now fully ungovernable. So that's kind of seems to be the case. So I think that's what I say I think a lot here because a lot has happened very, very quickly in a quick succession of time. And so prior to making this video, what we really got was just the quote from the dev from Belmore saying, yeah, he's sorry with grief. He didn't really give too much details. So the details are still pending. Let me see if there's, he pretty much just, I think, yeah, he just pretty said, hey, sorry, guys. He's sick with grief. It's unlikely that a governance for Yam can work. So, that's pretty much the current situation of Yam. I mean, the power of Yam was the fact that the Yam itself can be used for voting for governance. But it seems to be the case that reaching governance is no longer possible due to the fact that the treasury holds more Yam than it's possible to reach governance with. So anyways, that's kind of the current situation right now. I mean, depends. I hope no one lost their investment. So personally, I lost some money in there. So I lost yesterday's farm. So I didn't really take out any money from farming here. And also, obviously, gas costs. But I also said right before this all happened, I was quite hopeful. I didn't see these messages that this contract will fail. I saw that the vote was passed. I saw that the community banded together. And I was like, oh, you know what? Let me buy some Yam as well. So I think I lost roughly to the tune of around 10K there. Not really great, maybe a little bit more. So overall, this whole thing probably lost maybe 14 to 15K depending on the situation. Who knows? I mean, a lot of people, we saw James Blake says, I'm still holding this shit, ain't crazy, y'all crazy, social experiment, gonna rise back to $1. Who knows? I think right now the negativity is coming from the fact that governance no longer works. So the contract will continue on, all the farming, all that stuff will continue on. It's just that the community could no longer be governed. So I think that's kind of the situation where unless there's some ingenious way to hack around the contract, just that the governance, basically the ability to maintain the contract or update it or add features, remove features, it's kind of like what Wi-Fi is doing right now, where they added or removed new features. That's kind of dead. So I guess that's kind of the situation right now. So right now it's at 66 cents. That kind of just happened. So just wanted to update you guys, just kind of updated. I guess the situation is that I kind of lost days farm plus around 14K, which is not the biggest deal. Hopefully something else comes along. But at the same time, I guess the lesson learned here is audits. I mean, we knew that audits were important, but at the same time, I guess the community was too excited. It was reaching a point where, I guess the way to say it is, careful people couldn't release code in time, so the community just kept pushing and edging everyone on to release new code. I guess we all knew kind of what we're doing, I guess, as farmers. I mean, all the warnings were up. I think we all kind of knew what we were getting involved in, but that was the loss. So sucks. But I think I was pretty clear about what I was doing too. I didn't really buy yams until the last moment. I should have followed my advice, actually. Most of the yams I just followed up. I was just too excited about the vote proposal. That's when I speculated. I guess I got punished within an hour of that happening. The moment I start speculating on yam prices rather than farming it, kind of ironic, isn't it? But anyways, I guess that was the case. So anyways, dude lost 14K yen. dude, I was farming it at like what, $1,000 per hour, some stupid numbers like that. Yeah, I was just overly exposed, I guess. But you know, best Ethereum sites. Darn, box mining is greedy. He FOMOs into unaudited projects worth 14K. He's the same as Ivan on Tech. I guess that's, and I told you guys that with the trading fund, I was very, very aggressive. You know, that's I was very transparent about that. I knew what I was doing, still did it anyways, and I'm taking my loss. I'm being transparent about it. Not gonna hide the fact that I lost here. I don't know. You have wins, you have losses. Overall, still up. I mean, Wi-Fi was great. During Wi-Fi week, I made way more than that still. But you know, yeah. Dharma Sweep says, why not make V2 token and drop it to Yam holders? I'm not sure. I mean, these are up to the devs. I'm not devs. I'm not involved in the project anyway. I wasn't paid anyway. I was just a farmer. I found out about it. I told you guys I found out about Yam a little bit late too. I was like, holy crap, everyone's doing this. Okay, let me run forward and I mine Yam. So anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. Sean Process, why would you say values? People should speak in percentages. I've been speaking percentages too. I guess I was just being stupid. I should definitely speak in percentages here, but now I shouldn't add percentages with numbers, right? But anyways, that's kind of what happened. So we got Technomatics says DeFi Chad. Yeah, pretty much. What's the next thing? So John Teal says, can you do a recap? Yeah, I mean, I guess the shortest recap was that there was a bug in Yam, and this bug needed the community to band together to try to fix it, and the community did. So around kind of 2 hours ago, we already passed the save point where we had enough votes to reach quorum. But the final real test was if the developers can deploy a contract in time to save everything from going to shit. I guess that's the best way to describe it. So unfortunately, there was some sort of bug. We don't have the details on the bug in terms of why, even though all the votes were in and even though we reached that quorum, why the proposal couldn't be deployed. But anyways, it seems like that's still in progress. We still have to find out more about what is happening. So we got Crash Canada says, glad I didn't touch Yam. Yeah. We got B-Boy Harsh Soul says, I can see loss on your face. Yeah, it's pretty hard. I mean, especially within the first hour. I mean, I've decided, you know, prior to starting this video, I was like, should I make a video to update you guys? I mean, I'm still in an emotional state right now because I made a dumb decision. I'm actually speculating on Yam. I decided, take the bullet, why not, and do it. So that's pretty much it. We got Sean Process. Sorry for loss. It's fine. I mean, that's actually quite small relative to everything. Technically, it's hard because if you think about your loss in absolute values, it gets to you, and I tend to do that when I lose some stuff. But at the end of the day, if you look at the long streak that I've been in for the past 3 weeks or so, farming has been ridiculously good for me. But I think this is a good lesson, I guess, for me anyways, to be a little bit more cautious, to be a little bit more well-planned. Hopefully hire a tech dev maybe to review everything. But I think even in this case, I think if I was to learn something from this, like what can I learn? And I think first of all, yes, don't speculate on whatever I farm that much. I mean, as a farmer, you know, you're pursuing alpha, right? You're pursuing gains with little volatility risk. But this time, the major loss came from beta, where I did buy the coin itself as well. And that was where the losses kind of came from the beta loss. Second of all, I think I went a little bit too aggressive. I thought, okay, this could be another Wi-Fi, so I didn't sell as much as I should have. Any regrets there? I guess I experimented. You got to have that sort of balance somewhere. Because what happened was after I sold, I went back into the pools to farm with whatever I sold, right? So that was kind of the additional risk I incurred and why I lost yesterday's yield. If I really kept that yield and I didn't speculate and use that to buy Yam or use that to do anything, then I think it'll be fine. But anyways, we got best Ethereum size Yam going back up in price. I think there'll be a dynamic. Some people will probably try to pick this up. The reason why they'll probably pick this up is because now it's still functioning as an Ampleforth clone. I think in terms of the design functionality, the core design of it hasn't changed. So if it's going up or down in value, it's beyond, it's speculation now at this current point, right? Now you lost the governance aspect, but hey, maybe you can still farm. And I think the other sadness I have, I guess, is the yield for your farm will go down. I mean, I was kind of happy and hoping that I can continue farming this for at least a week. And I was like, oh man, if I farm this for a week, you look at these giant numbers pop up on yield-farming.info. I'm like, oh my God, if I farm this for a week, I'll be like at XX $1,000, right? So I kind of feel like a double loss, like a loss of the farming and also of the yams I bought. But anyways, that's kind of the situation. I think you can still farm. There's nothing wrong with farming it. It's just that right now the governance side, the ability for the community to maintain and update the contract and make it into a project that does something useful, that is kind of lost. So prior to this, it could have been a case where the community can come up with some ingenious ideas, proposals, or whatnot to make this useful. But yeah. So I guess right now it's back to normal. In terms of overall market, it's actually quite interesting to see. So overall, let's take a look at the value locked. I'm actually quite interested. So after all this, because of the loss in the long-term governance value here, we see that a lot of money is leaving the pools. So in terms of value locked, you'll probably notice that it's probably going down quite a lot. Yam itself is at around $1, which I guess it's supposed to be at. So just a recap with the rebase, what happened was that the rebase was double rebase. So it was around $14 prior to this. Double rebase mean it should technically drop to around 7, but now it's dropped to around 1 because of all the fear, uncertainty, and doubt going forward. In terms of mining, so you can still mine it, but just the kind of the governance aspect of it is gone. So I guess so. People are talking about new ones now. I guess we don't learn. There is a totally degenerate ones. I think depending on whether I want to talk about this is now the biggest issue. I mean, am I still going to farm? Yes, but am I going to be as publicly talking about it? It depends on you guys. If you guys are interested in learning about bleeding edge, but you're okay with taking a loss, I think I'm completely okay with talking about more projects and what's going on. But at the same time, if you guys are all very careful and saying Ponzi's, blah 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 blah, then I guess I'll kind of reduce that in the future. So it's up to you guys. It's the governance of box mining. You guys take a vote on it. I'll look at the chat. That's how I'll vote for now, but we'll see how it's going to go in the future. We got Jay Meyer says, I appreciate your honesty, Chirp man. Best thing we learned from everything. Yeah, exactly. It's hard. I think it's just the hardest part is I think, oh man, that's like a lost something XYZ, right? I mean, that's like half a Tesla right there. If it's like 14K, then is Tesla that cheap? Probably not, right? Probably a quarter, so it's not that bad. Anyways, moving on. It's not too bad. We keep farming. Basically, it was, Zaparo said it was unaudited, and we've talked about that also on boxmining.com. In fact, it was clearly warned that it was unaudited, but we had volatility warning recently launched, and also smart contract audits. It's not undergone any audits. There was a lot of potential problems. The good thing was obviously the contract itself governing the tokens itself, the staking pools, that's never been has not been compromised yet. I will have to say it's not broken. So there were quite a few components to this, right? So the components with the farming, that's fine. Like you can still farm, you can still take that out, you don't lose anything. Whether or not you want to still farm, that's up to you. Obviously, how you see the functionality of Yam. And in terms of Yam itself, where it blew up was with the Yam's code itself. So whilst a few pairs of eyes have looked at Yam, it was a very non-standard contract. It was doing a lot. It was doing the Ampleforth rebasing thing. So it had the rebasing elements inside. It had governance elements inside. It has a treasury inside. And the treasury was where things blew up. Basically, the treasury was taking too much. And that was where the treasury got too rich. And the treasury, unfortunately, wasn't controlled by anyone. So it was just this autonomous contract that could potentially vote for itself, but it doesn't know. It's not smart enough to do anything. I guess it's not really AI, right? So anyways, that's pretty much the case. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. I don't want to run this episode for too long. I think Yam, at this point, that's pretty much it for the governance side. I think there will be maybe a community afterwards that, you know, they love it for the rebasing element. So there's still the rebasing side of it where, you know, can rebase like Ampleforth, etc. There's also quite a few projects people are talking about now in terms of farming. Personally, I'm going to continue looking at new stuff to farm. I think I'm still on this farming bandwagon, but I think it's a good reminder that unaudited code is not good. I think this is a big stepping stone moment for the entire community where a lot of devs, I think, you know, they have many pairs of eyes look over the code. The code is overall generally a lot easier to look at now, but there still could be vulnerabilities, and that's why we need to deploy on test nets, test it out, and then deploy on mainnet. I think this is one of the trends that unfortunately Wi-Fi set. You know, Wi-Fi set this with, you know, Andre Krona saying, you know, I test in production. Well, production means, you know, there could be a routine for this in the future where, you know, we test in on the test nets to make sure they work there, they're behaving the way we should, and then test it here, blah, blah, blah. You know, that's kind of the side. So we got DeFi tool assist, Yams is fun, watch the forks or a new project for Mayhem. Yeah, hopefully so. Hopefully so. I think we have a huge community says go based, go. Oh my god. Who knows, right? Who knows? Willie P says get a stiff drink, Michael. I'm actually very clear-headed. I actually just drink water these days. It's just because I have to be very, very like alert when I'm making like pressing buttons on MetaMask. You have to make sure that your gas fees and everything you have to do is correct. I'll probably do that in a sec. After this, I'm probably going to recollect and figure out what's happening with farming, because I'll have to see if it's still viable and still profitable to farm in Yam for the time being. And then I'll probably look at some new pools as well and probably update you guys on Telegram. But obviously we did learn a little bit from everything here. So we got Ed says farming is exciting. It is ridiculously exciting, but also ridiculously dangerous. I hope no one else got caught here. I actually really care about our community and hope no one got caught hardcore. We have 300 some people here. That's actually absolutely insane watching me just talk randomly about this. But I think that's pretty much it, guys. I think thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back. The next stream is on Monday. So we're skipping out tomorrow's stream. Tomorrow's actually going to be my day off. Today was supposedly be my day in, but you know, that was a crap load of fun. And on that note as well, I need to get my podcasts out. So Bitcoin Out of the Box is my podcast. Check out the podcast we're gonna add the new 2 interviews that back there. If you guys haven't, you know, found out, but recently we got 2 interviews, one with CZ and one with Sam from FTX, and we have a few more really good videos lined up here. So just make sure you guys stay tuned. I'll keep you guys updated on all the mining stuff. Minor setback here. It'll be pretty good. So yeah, I'm glad I actually really talked to you guys about it, because you just bite the bullet, go forward, be smarter, learn as a community. If you guys want to learn as learn together as the box mining community, we have the Telegram up here, pushing that hard, and then yeah, we're pretty good. I think my biggest concern right now would be just checking out what happens to Compound, because kind of funnily enough, right? Yam was what really pushed up Compound and Wi-Fi. So both of these 2 coins people had to buy to mine, right? Yeah, we'll have to see. Let me see Wi-Fi, where Wi-Fi's at. Let's see. Doo-doo-doo. Oh, Wi-Fi dropped a little bit. Comp. Yeah, so the whole Yam going down probably will take a few of these tokens that was on Yam with it as people start to exit. So comp drops a little bit, AMP probably will drop a little bit as well, whilst the whole community kind of licks our wounds together and figure out what happened. So yeah, Ample4 took a little bit of a hit as well. We got I hate hackers is what happened to Yam. It was mostly because of these developers. They screwed up. So unfortunately, we'll have to see. Let me see if Belmore reposted anything here. Probably not though. Temporarily at Yam. Yeah. Yam, the experiment failed. Well, it failed for the governance side anyways, so I'll leave it there. But yeah, so it did take, so this will probably take a few of the coins down, whilst because yesterday the rally was mostly because of Yam. You had to deposit those coins onto Yam in order to farm it, so a lot of people were very pretty much rushing into Yam and then locking up a supply of Link or Ample or whatnot. But anyway, so that's kind of the situation happening there. Anyways, guys, we'll take a look. We'll figure out what's happening. We got everyone smash the likes. Please do smash the likes. Hope this gets you updated. Just rewind it a little bit. I explained all that was happening, all that's known so far. Maybe another update tonight when we get more information about what's happening, but that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you stay tuned, click like, subscribe, everything. Find you guys next episode. Actually, I feel a lot better, actually. Pretty cool. Live stream makes you feel better. Awesome. See you guys